Well, good eve, well, good morning, good night, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time it is when you're watching this. I know this is a late video I'm recording here, but this is really some interesting news that I picked up. I know, very random. You might say, why am I recording this? Well, here's the here's the scoop. It's reported that the Mountain West is trying to expand to 12 teams. As you know, the Mountain West has been active. They've been trying to get teams, try to become a BCS conference, and some things have panned out for them, some things have not. Brigham Young University, BYU left, TCU left, and so did Utah. Well, of course, they gained Boise State, Fresno State, and Nevada in the process to substitute. So pretty much the old WAC will become the current Mountain West. Also, I forgot to mention Hawaii as well coming over there. So that's 10 teams. Basically, 4 teams gained, 3 teams lost. It'll make a 10-team conference, but they want to get 12. And of course, why they want to do that is so that they could have more markets, get not maybe, but a title game for the conference. To have 12 teams and officially be that BCS or Big Boy Conference that they're demanding respect from all of the college football world. This is still a very interesting story. Why, you may ask, is because the 2 teams or 2 schools that are interested are San Jose State and Utah State. You might say, why would they care about Utah State and San Jose State when both teams finished under 500 and couldn't even combine for 6 wins last year? Well, here's the thing. San Jose State has a big market. The Bay Area is one of the biggest markets in the world, and those of you who didn't know, San Jose does count as the Bay Area. I know Oakland, San Francisco are 2 bigger places you all think about, but San Jose is the South Bay, and it counts. Pretty much the big market out there. Utah State provides the Utah market. Of course, they lost the Utah Utes and the BYU Cougars. Those 2 took out the Utah market, but once again, they're going to try to regain it with Utah State. The Utah State acquisition makes sense, of course, because they are right in the mountain region in Logan, Utah. Utah State pretty much declined the initial invitation because they would make an 11-team conference. They were pretty loyal to the WAC, but this offer could be too good to pass up in reality. I hope Tom Bowen, who's gotten a lot of flame here at San Jose State, Tom Bowen's been taking a lot of flame as an athletic director, but if he accepts this invitation and everything, if this is true, then I would really be greatly happy of this. This has actually been a story locally that's been ongoing for about a week. On Monday they actually had the discussions. I think Tuesday they're going to talk a little bit more. By the time you're watching this, it'll be Tuesday. But it'll be very interesting, regardless, to see what happens among this conference. We're going to see a lot of changes, as we already know, that have happened with teams leaving toward the Big East or leaving toward the Pac-10 or even independent. This is an interesting story because this program, San Jose State here, was once left for the dead. In my last video talking about the death of the WAC conference, I really talked about how the WAC is pretty much dead, and I pretty much think it is. It's going to just add more insult to injury if this is true, and we get this, a lot of this WAC failure and whackness, if you want to call it that. It's going to fall back a lot on Carl Benson. And I was blaming him a lot in my last video. But this would be still a great story for at least San Jose State's perspective, because I said we were once in the dead. But the Mountain West needs the markets. They need the television markets to compete, and San Jose State's location, I think, is a perfect fit, because for those of you who don't know, San Jose actually is a city ranked in the top 10 out of U.S. cities. I think you'll all be surprised at that, but that is the truth. Unfortunately, San Jose State's athletics have not given a lot of pride. It won't strengthen the conference when it comes to wins and stuff, but obviously the Mountain West is not looking at that. They're looking at the markets. Utah State will provide very good basketball. They're a consistent basketball team representing the WAC. Always a 20-win team, guaranteed. Even when they're down, they'll get 20 wins always. In your Utah State, they usually, at one point, they've been ranked here and there. So Utah State, a consistent team, basketball-wise. They'll provide to the Mountain West if this happens. But still, this will be a very interesting story, and I'm very supportive of this move. Obviously, from my perspective as a student here, really thought we'd be relegated to FCS, but for once, the market might be very attractive. And to the remaining schools that haven't gotten an invitation, Louisiana Tech, Idaho, New Mexico State, farewell. If that's the case, gravy. Wonder how you're feeling about this, because I know Louisiana Tech for you, that is your other team, if you want to call it that. And it'll be interesting to see what happens if this is true. The competition-wise, there are some down teams, there's some good teams, but I'm not sold on the remaining current Mountain West guys. You know, UNLV, Wyoming, Colorado State, New Mexico, San Diego State. I know they just lost. They were good this past season, but they just lost Brady Hoke. They got the Air Force as well, who's usually good. But San Jose State most likely is going to be your bottom feeder of the conference. There's like that 98% chance that'll happen. But I think there will be at least more wins than the situation there in the WAC. Teams gotten. Utah State, I think, is actually on the rise. They went 4-8 last year, and I know their record won't show. But they did have some nice offensive powers here and there. I know it showed from that Oklahoma game to start the season. They started pretty well with that close loss. But some of that remaining competition, New Mexico, who's horrible, Colorado State, Wyoming, they are not that good. And I think those games will be winnable if San Jose State goes into that conference. So college football fans, let me know what you think. If Craig Thompson is really serious and the officials of the Mountain West are serious about this invitation, I'm all for it. I'm really hoping somehow San Jose State's program, it would be nice to see them in Division I still remaining that way rather than being in FCS. So see y'all later. Go Spartans, and let me know what you all think.